Hello students and welcome to the fourth video lecture of our first lesson, that is reproduction in lower and higher plants, and in this lecture we are going to study pollination and double fertilization. The subtopics we are studying are pollination and its types, agents of pollination and its types, outbreeding devices. In that one more part is pollen pistil interaction, and lastly we will study double fertilization and triple fusion. So this is we are going to cover today. Now let us start with pollination. Transfer of pollen grains from anther to susceptible stigma is called pollination. And pollination is very important process because these gametes are non-motile and they cannot move on their own and they need to be carried from anther to stigma. And this process is very important in the process of double fertilization, carrying of anther. Pollination is of two types. First is self-pollination. Self-pollination is selfing, pollination between same flower. It is called as self-pollination. Now you can see in the lower diagram, there here these two labelings A and B both are self-pollination example. Autogamy. The A diagram is showing autogamy, that is pollen grains are transferred from stigma of same flower. It is called as autogamy. From the same flower, anther pollen grain, from the anther pollen grain fall on the stigma. So it is autogamy. Auto means self. Here, if the flower is same, the genetic material is same and there is no mixing of genetic material. The another type of self-pollination is geitonogamy. Geito means different, but the flower is different, but plant is same. See, you can see here A and B in the B diagram. These are two different flowers, but they belongs to the same plant. Okay, so pollen grain transfer to stigma of different flower of same plant is called geitonogamy. Here again there is no mixing of genetic material. Genetic material mixing occurs in cross pollination. Cross means two different are getting fused between flowers of this similar genetic makeup. Now here in the diagram C, you can see the pollen grain from one flower, they are carried to this another flower. And this another flower, it belongs to the another plant. So the plant is different, the flower is different, but it is same. You can see these flowers are of same type, same species, different plant. Then this pollination is called as xenogamy. Okay, and here genetically different offsprings are produced because two plants they have different genetic material. When the gametes mix with each other, a new set of genetic material is produced, a variation is produced, and that is the beauty of cross pollination, and that is the main benefit of cross pollination. Cross pollination is beneficial than self pollination because of this mixing of genetic material. The next part we are going to study is pollinating agents. Agents which are used to carry or transfer pollen grains from one flower to stigma of another flower is called pollinating agent. Something is required to carry the pollen grain from one flower to another. Now these agents are of two types. You can see on the screen they are abiotic agents, that is non-living, and the second one is biotic agents, that is they are living. Abiotic agents are of two types, either they are wind and or they are water. Pollen grains are carried by wind. हवेने परागीकरण होतं. It is called as anemophily. Now, when the flowers are carried by wind, At that time, the pollen grains should be light. जर ते जड असतील, चिकट असतील, तर ते हवेने उडणार नाहीत. They will not get fly by the air. For that, the pollen grains, they need to be light in weight and large in number. Because through the wind, the loss of pollen grain is maximum in anemophily. For that, pollen grains are produced in large number. How the flowers are there in anemophily plant? In anemophilous plant, the flowers are small and inconspicuous. They are present in bunch, group मध्ये flowers तयार होतात. They can carry at a time large number of pollen grains can be carried by the wind. And the stigma is feathery to catch the pollen grains. Okay, so these are the adaptations of anemophilous flower. In hydrophilous flower, hydrophily, of course, when the plant is present in the water, then the pollination will carried out with water. It is again of two types. In epihydrophily means the pollen grains, they are floating on the surface of the water. At such time, the pollen grains are light in weight. Okay, the example is Vallisneria. See in the textbook on the page number 7, you can see this is Vallisneria plant and the upper plant is maize plant, anemophily. Maize is the example of anemophilous plant. Okay, grass, maize, they are anemophilous. And this is the aquatic plant, Vallisneria. It is the example of epihydrophily. The another type of hydrophily is hypohydrophily. Hypo means low, khali. When the plants are submerged in the water, at that time the pollen grains they need to be get sink in the water. They are heavy. Such such type of pollination agent is called as hypohydrophily. Example is Zostria. Now, in biotic agent, all of us are familiar with honeybees, butterflies, grasshopper, isn't it? When they fly, they sit on one flower, they gather the nectar, they fly and they go to the another flower. At that time, the pollen grains are carried through their body. It is called as insect pollination. It is known as entomophily. Now you have to learn these terms. Pollination by insect is called as entomophily. How the flowers are there in entomophilous plant? The flowers are very attractive, of course, to attract the insect. The flowers are nectar, full of nectar because the insects come to the flower to gather the nectar. So the flowers are having nectar. They are having fragrance to attract the insects. The pollen grains are spiny and sticky, opposite to anemophily. ते कोरडे नसतात. They are sticky so that they can get stick up to the body of insect. They can stick up to the bristle. Insectच्या पायावरती जे बारीक केस असतात, they are called as bristles. These pollen grains, they get stuck up to the bristles of the insect and carried to the another flower. That is entomophily. The stigma is again rough and hairy to catch the pollen grains. The example is rose, cestrum. त्याला आपण मधुमती रातराणीचं फुलं म्हणतो, कुंदाची फुलं. In those flowers, entomophily is carried out. Another type of biotic agents, they are birds. Such plants are called as ornithophily. Ornitho means birds. Okay. Now in birds pollinating flowers, the flowers are slightly larger in size. They are again having large amount of nectar, but they are without fragrance. वास त्यांना असतोच असं नाही. Because birds are having poor sensation of smell. But the pollen grains are sticky and spiny. Okay. बुचिया, bombax, पळस माहिती आहे तुम्हाला? पळस, flame of forest म्हणतात त्याला. In the summer season, they are dark orange color flowers you can see on the roads in the jungle. This pulse, butia, it is the example of ornithophilia. Pollination takes place by birds. And one more biotic agent is there, that is bat. Okay, chirapterophilia or chirapterophilia, the pronunciation is. Now, when the bat pollinates the flower, the bats are nocturnal animal. They come out in the night. So such flowers are also, they blossom at the night time. Okay, and these flowers are large in size. They are quite larger in size and they are having strong odor, pungent smell to attract the bats. And they have pollen grains are large and edible. Bats eat those pollen grains. They come to the plant to take the pollen grain. So the flowers are having large edible pollen grains. ओके, अँथोसिफॅलस म्हणजे कदंबाचं झाड, मोठा वृक्ष असतो कदंबाचा. दॅट फ्लॉवर दे आर कॅरीड बाय द बॅट. पॉलिनेशन इज कॅरीड आउट विथ द हेल्प ऑफ बॅट. नाव द नेक्स्ट पार्ट इज आउटब्रीदिंग डिव्हाइसेस. What is the meaning of outbreeding devices? See, I have written here mechanism that prevent self-pollination. Self-pollination होऊ दिलं जात नाही. It is called as outbreeding devices because plant prefer self cross pollination, because cross pollination is more beneficial to the plant. The embryo is more viable. It is stronger in cross pollination. So self pollination can be avoided by following methods. First is unisexuality. Flower produce only one type of gamete, either male or female. All of you know papaya. पपईचं झाड नर आणि मादी दोन प्रकारचं असतात. नर झाडाला पपई लागत नाही, मादी झाडाला पपई लागते. सो द फ्लॉवर्स, द प्लांट्स आर डिफरंट. सो क्रॉस पॉलिनेशन इज कंपल्सरी. सेल्फ पॉलिनेशन कैन नॉट टेक्स प्लेस. In second type, dichogamy. Here, both two male and female gametes both are present in the plant, but they do not get mature at the same time. Either the androecium it mature first, it is called as protandry, or sometime the gynoecium mature first before androecium, it is called as protogyny. So maturity period is different, so self-pollination cannot take place. The example is protandry sunflower and protogyny gloriosa. The third type is prepotency. What is prepotency? Pollen grains from one flower germinate rapidly than the self-pollination. When the pollen grain from another flower fall on the stigma, it gets germinate faster. So cross-pollination is preferable. It is carried out. The fourth type is heterostyle. Style is a long filament. Hetero means different. Anther and stigma, they are placed at different levels. So when they are present on the different level, anther cannot fall on the stigma of same flower. Example is primrose. लहान लहान गुलाबाची जी फुलं येतात त्याच्यामध्ये आपल्याला ह्या प्रकारचं डिव्हाइस दिसतं. One more type of outbreeding device is hercogamy. Physical barrier is present between the sex organ. Example is Calotropis, रुई. ज्याच्या पानांचा हार आपण मारुतीला घालतो, ते रुईचं झाड. त्याची फुलं पाहिली आहेत तुम्ही? The gynoecium part, it has stick rectangular structure. Due to that structure, anther of the same flower cannot fall on the stigma and the self-pollination is avoided. And one more type of outbreeding devices is self-incompatibility. When the anther of same flower fall on the stigma, it do not get germinate. It is called as self-incompatible. स्वतःशी ते compatible होऊ शकत नाही. Cross pollination is compulsory. It is called outbreeding devices which avoid self-pollination. Another small part is there in your syllabus, that is pollen-pistil interaction. When the pollen grain of one plant fall on the stigma, germination of the pollen grain takes place and pollen tube is produced. But it is not for all the anther on all the stigma. For example, if the pollen grain of mango flower, it fall on the stigma of rose flower, does it get germinate? Of course not. For that, compatible stigma is necessary. When compatible stigma is there, then only the interaction takes place. It is called pollen pistil interaction. It is a type of physical process where they recognize the compatible anther. The next part is double fertilization and triple fusion. Once again, here summarize. I have given the diagram to summarize the process of female and male gamete. That is, the male gamete is the microsporogenesis. This is the anther. Inside the anther, the pollen chambers are present. They have the microspore mother cell. Okay, it undergoes meiosis to form four pollen grains. They are called as microspores in tetrad. They get separate. They undergo mitotic division, and that is the two cell stage of pollen grain, and they fall on the stigma. This is the process of pollination, isn't it? Just now we studied pollination process. So pollination here takes place. Now when the pollen grain fall on the stigma, they form this pollen tube. Pollen tube is produced, and the sperms are carried to the ovule. Now this is female gametophyte formation. Ovule inside the ovary, it undergoes meiosis. Four tetrad of megaspores are formed. Three get degenerate. We have studied it in the previous lecture. Only one remain functional. It is called as functional megaspore. It undergo again three mitotic division to produce 8 nuclei and 7 cell body. We call it as female gametophyte or the embryo egg sac, and in that the middle one is egg cell. Here this is the egg cell. It is surrounded by synergid cell and antipodal cells and polar nucleus. This is the female gametophyte. Okay, so male gametophyte, see I have written here male gametophyte, two male gametes in the pollen tube. Female gametophyte, one egg cell is present in the ovule. Now, in double fertilization, these male gametes are carried to the female gamete. Here, male gametes are carried by this pollen tube. You can see this, and this pollen grain, it has fall on the stigma, and this is the pollen tube. It is produced and the pollen grain are carried. Now here, this pollen tube, you can see it is come inside through this micropyle. This is micropyle opening where the integuments are absent. So when the pollen tube is entering inside through the micropyle, it is called as porogamy. Sometime this pollen tube enter through the chalaza. Where is chalaza end? You remember? Opposite to the micropyle. This is chalaza. Now when it comes through the chalaza, it is called as chalazogamy when the pollen tube enters through the chalaza. Sometime the pollen tube enters through the integument. From here, the pollen tube may enter. At that time, it is called as mesogamy. Now, when the pollen tube enter inside, it is carrying male gamete. Pollen tube is a hollow structure. It is carrying male gamete. That process is called as siphonogamy. Due to that, male gametes do not get misplaced and they are carried properly in the ovule. When it enter in the ovule, the synergid cell, they direct it. The synergid cells, they are present at the both sides of the female gamete, egg cell. Now, they guide the pollen tube enter inside. When pollen tube enters inside, you can see these male gametes, they get free. This is one male gamete. It unite with female gamete. This is the another male gamete and it is uniting with this is the another male gamete, it combined with the secondary nucleus. In this way, two male gametes fuse with two different cells. First is the syngamy, where male gamete, haploid, fuse with female gamete to produce diploid zygote. And another case, when the male gamete combine with secondary nucleus, It is called as triple fusion. Male gamete haploid combine with diploid secondary nucleus to form primary endospermic nucleus. PEN is also carried, is also called, and it is triploid. So triploid endosperm is produced in angiosperm, and it is very beneficial because it makes the embryo viable. The embryo is strong because of presence of triploid endosperm, which will produce from the primary endospermic nucleus. So this is the significance of double fertilization, where both the male gametes will be utilized and the diploid condition of the zygote is maintained and triploid endosperm is produced. So here we complete our this chapter. Sorry, here we complete this lecture. In the next lecture, we will study formation of endosperm and seed and fruit. Okay, up till then, goodbye. Thank you.